My beloved child, this morning began like any other morning, but before the sun had fully risen, your soulmate's mother made a decision that nobody saw coming. For a long time, she had been quietly watching changes in your soulmate, changes that could not be explained easily. The smiles that appeared for no reason, the moments of deep silence, the way their eyes seemed lost in thoughts they never shared. Today, something inside her finally clicked. A realization settled into her heart, and once it arrived, she could not ignore it anymore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this decision was not small, it has the power to change the direction of everything. What makes this story so surprising is that the decision was not made out of doubt or fear. It came from a feeling she could no longer deny. As she reflected on everything she had noticed over the past months, she began connecting pieces that never seemed connected before. Suddenly, moments that once looked ordinary started making perfect sense. The more she thought about it, the more convinced she became that there was a reason all these signs kept appearing. And then she did something unexpected. Instead of pushing the thought away, she accepted it. That single moment created a shift nobody around her could see yet. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because the truth behind her decision is far bigger than anyone realizes. As the morning continued, her confidence only grew stronger. A future she had never seriously considered before suddenly felt possible. She started seeing things from a completely different perspective, and with every passing minute, her certainty increased. But here is the part that should capture your attention: the most important detail has still not been revealed. There is a reason this decision happened today and not yesterday. There is a reason everything feels like it is moving toward a turning point. Right now, unseen pieces are falling into place, and very soon, the impact of this morning's decision will become impossible to ignore. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next chapter of this story may reveal why everything suddenly changed today. My beloved child, just when it seemed the morning's decision was complete, something even more unexpected happened. A conversation began that nobody planned for. It was not loud, dramatic, or obvious, yet every word carried unusual weight. Your soulmate's mother started looking at recent events differently, almost as if she was seeing a hidden picture finally come into focus. The more she thought about everything, the more she realized that certain moments were not random at all. Small details she once ignored suddenly felt important. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what she discovered next made her question everything she thought she already knew. As those thoughts grew stronger, she found herself remembering specific situations that had never fully made sense before. Why had your soulmate reacted so differently lately? Why did certain topics immediately capture their attention? Why did they seem more hopeful one day and unusually quiet the next? These questions kept returning until she could no longer dismiss them. Then a surprising realization appeared. She began to understand that some connections are stronger than distance, stronger than timing, and stronger than outside opinions. The moment that realization settled into her heart, her entire perspective shifted. What once seemed uncertain now appeared far more meaningful. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because this realization was only the beginning. By the end of the day, the decision she made that morning no longer felt like a simple thought, it felt like the start of something important. Deep inside, she sensed that events were moving toward a moment that could not be delayed forever. The strange part is that nobody around her fully understood what had changed, yet she could feel it clearly. A new possibility had entered her mind, and it refused to leave. Right now, there are still conversations that have not happened and truths that remain hidden, but the energy surrounding this situation is no longer the same. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next development may reveal why this morning's decision was only the first step in a story that is about to become impossible to ignore. My beloved child, as night approached, the impact of that morning's decision became impossible to ignore. What had started as a quiet thought in your soulmate's mother's mind was now growing into something much larger. She could not stop thinking about it. Every time she tried to focus on something else, the same feeling returned. It was as if an invisible force kept bringing her back to the same conclusion. The more she reflected, the stronger her certainty became. But here is what makes this moment so surprising: she had not expected her heart to change this quickly. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next realization she had may be the one that changes everything. Later, while observing your soulmate, she noticed something that immediately caught her attention. It was not a big event. It was not some dramatic scene. It was a small expression, a brief reaction, a moment that lasted only seconds. Yet that tiny moment revealed more than words ever could. Suddenly, many unanswered questions began finding answers. The confusion that had existed for so long started fading away. For the first time, she felt she was seeing the truth clearly. What surprised her most was how natural everything seemed once she accepted that truth. Pieces that once looked disconnected now fit together perfectly. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because she was beginning to understand something that very few people ever notice until it is too late. As the evening grew quieter, one final thought entered her mind and refused to leave. What if this situation was unfolding exactly the way it was meant to? What if all the delays, uncertainties, and unanswered questions had been leading toward this very moment? That question changed everything. Instead of focusing on obstacles, she started focusing on possibilities. Instead of wondering why things happened, she began wondering what might happen next. And that shift created a completely different outlook. Right now, important pieces are still hidden behind the curtain, but the direction of the story is changing rapidly. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals a discovery that neither your soulmate nor their mother expected to uncover. My beloved child, the following morning brought a feeling that was impossible to ignore. Your soulmate's mother woke up with the same thought still resting heavily on her mind. Usually, important decisions become weaker after a night's rest, but this one had become stronger. The more she reflected on everything, the more convinced she became that she was witnessing something meaningful unfold. What surprised her most was the sense of peace she felt. The uncertainty that once surrounded this situation was slowly disappearing. In its place was a growing belief that certain connections enter your life for a reason. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happened next pushed her even closer to a conclusion she never imagined reaching. As the day continued, an unexpected moment caught her attention. It was one of those moments most people would overlook without a second thought. But she didn't overlook it. She noticed a change in your soulmate's energy whenever certain topics came up. She noticed how quickly their mood shifted and how difficult it was for them to hide what they truly felt. The more she observed, the clearer everything became. It was as if a hidden story had been revealing itself piece by piece, and now the final pages were beginning to appear. Suddenly, questions that had existed for months no longer felt complicated. The answers were standing right in front of her. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because one final realization was about to change her entire perspective. As evening arrived, she sat quietly with her thoughts and accepted something she had been resisting for a long time. Sometimes life moves people toward a future long before they realize it themselves. Sometimes signs appear repeatedly until they can no longer be ignored. In that moment, she stopped focusing on what could go wrong and started focusing on what could go right. That shift was powerful. It changed the way she viewed the entire situation. Right now, there are still conversations waiting to happen and truths waiting to be spoken, but the energy surrounding this connection is no longer the same. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next discovery will reveal why your soulmate's mother is beginning to believe that this story is far from ordinary. My beloved child, just when it seemed your soulmate's mother had reached her final conclusion, a new detail appeared that completely caught her off guard. It was not something dramatic or obvious. In fact, most people would have missed it entirely. But for some reason, she could not stop thinking about it. The more she reflected, the more she felt that the story was still unfinished. Deep inside, she sensed that there was a missing piece she had not discovered yet. And the strange part was that this feeling grew stronger with every passing hour. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what she uncovered next made her realize that the situation was much deeper than she had originally believed. As the day moved forward, she found herself paying closer attention than ever before. Certain reactions, certain emotions, and certain moments suddenly stood out in a way they never had before. It was as if invisible clues were appearing right in front of her eyes. One by one, old doubts started disappearing. The picture was becoming clearer. She began understanding that some things cannot be forced, and some feelings cannot be hidden forever. The more she observed, the more she noticed a pattern that kept repeating itself. And every time that pattern appeared, it pointed her toward the same conclusion. That realization sent a wave of surprise through her heart because it challenged assumptions she had held for a very long time. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because the biggest realization of all was still ahead. Later that evening, she sat quietly and allowed herself to think about the future. For the first time, she did not see uncertainty. Instead, she saw possibilities. She saw a path that once seemed unlikely beginning to feel more real than ever before. What shocked her most was how naturally everything fit together when she stopped resisting what she was seeing. The questions that once seemed impossible to answer no longer felt impossible. The confusion was fading, and clarity was taking its place. Right now, important events are still moving behind the scenes, and many details remain hidden. But one thing has become clear: the decision made that morning continues to grow in significance with each passing day. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals a truth that could explain why everything has been leading toward this moment. My beloved child, the truth was becoming impossible for your soulmate's mother to ignore. What began as a single thought had now turned into a certainty that followed her everywhere. No matter what she was doing, the same feeling kept returning. It was as if life itself was repeatedly drawing her attention toward the same conclusion. She tried looking at the situation from every angle, searching for reasons to doubt what she was seeing, but each time she did, she ended up arriving at the exact same place. That is when she realized something important. Sometimes the answers you search for are not hidden at all. Sometimes they have been standing in front of you the entire time, waiting for the right moment to be recognized. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the next few days unfolded, she began noticing changes that confirmed her growing belief. Little moments carried unusual meaning. Casual conversations seemed to reveal more than people intended. Even silence started speaking louder than words. The more she observed, the clearer the picture became. A future she once considered impossible no longer felt impossible. In fact, it was beginning to feel surprisingly natural. What shocked her most was not what she was discovering about your soulmate. It was what she was discovering about herself. She realized that her perspective had completely changed. The doubts that once felt so powerful had lost their grip. In their place was a quiet confidence that something important was unfolding exactly as it should. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because a major turning point was now approaching faster than anyone realized. Then came a moment that stopped her in her tracks. A simple event, a simple observation, yet it carried a message she could not ignore. Suddenly, everything connected. The questions, the signs, the changes, the emotions, every piece seemed to fit together perfectly. For a brief moment, she sat in complete silence, realizing that the story was far bigger than she had first imagined. The decision she made that morning was no longer just a decision. It had become the beginning of a new chapter. And deep inside, she felt that the most important part of the story had not even happened yet. Right now, unseen pieces are still moving into place. Hidden conversations are drawing closer. Answers that once seemed distant are approaching. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next revelation may be the one that finally explains why your soulmate's mother believes that everything is changing for a reason. My beloved child, by now your soulmate's mother could feel that something significant was approaching. The decision she made that morning had started a chain of thoughts and realizations that she never expected. What surprised her most was how many signs seemed to point in the same direction. Every time she thought the matter was settled, another clue appeared. Every time she believed she had reached the end of the story, another piece revealed itself. It was almost as if life was gently guiding her toward a truth she was meant to understand. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happened next made her realize that this was not just about the present, it was about the future as well. One evening, while reflecting on everything she had learned, she began imagining what could happen if she trusted what her heart was telling her. For the first time, she stopped focusing on questions and started focusing on possibilities. That change was powerful. Instead of seeing uncertainty, she began seeing potential. Instead of seeing obstacles, she began seeing opportunities. The more she allowed herself to think this way, the more peaceful she felt. It was a feeling she could not explain, yet it stayed with her. Deep inside, she sensed that the story unfolding around your soulmate was moving toward an important moment. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because a realization was about to arrive that would strengthen her belief even more. As the days continued, one final understanding settled into her heart. She realized that some connections have a way of finding their path no matter how much time passes. Some stories continue moving forward even when nobody can see the progress happening behind the scenes. That thought changed everything. It gave her a new perspective and a new sense of confidence about what might lie ahead. Right now, the biggest answers have not been revealed yet. Important conversations are still waiting to happen. Hidden truths are still making their way to the surface. But one thing is certain, the decision made that morning was only the beginning. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals the surprising event that finally convinced your soulmate's mother that the future may be closer than anyone expected. My beloved child, the moment finally arrived when your soulmate's mother stopped searching for more proof. For days, she had been watching, thinking, and connecting countless pieces together. But now something inside her had changed. She no longer felt confused. She no longer felt uncertain. Instead, she felt calm. And sometimes, that calmness arrives only when a person finally understands something important. The signs she had been noticing were no longer scattered pieces of a puzzle. They had become a complete picture. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the realization that entered her heart next was unlike anything she had expected when this journey first began. As she reflected on everything that had happened, she began seeing a pattern that stretched far beyond a single day or a single decision. She realized that certain events had been quietly leading to this moment for much longer than anyone knew. Small encounters, unexpected emotions, unexplained changes. They all seemed connected now. What surprised her most was how natural everything felt once she accepted this possibility. The resistance she once felt had disappeared. In its place was a growing sense that life sometimes works in ways people cannot immediately understand. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that the future was already beginning to take shape behind the scenes. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because one final piece was still missing from the story. Then, late that evening, a powerful thought settled into her heart and refused to leave. What if this entire situation had been moving toward a turning point all along? What if every delay, every question, and every unanswered moment had simply been preparing everyone for what comes next? That thought changed everything. For the first time, she stopped wondering whether the path would open and started wondering how soon it would happen. Right now, important developments are closer than they appear. Conversations that once seemed distant are moving nearer. Answers that felt impossible to reach are beginning to reveal themselves. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals the unexpected event that transformed your soulmate's mother's belief into complete confidence and left her seeing the future in a completely different way.